Please repeat it. What now? About me being right?
I was wrong, and you were right.
About what?
I'm gonna buy some fucking art smocks for kids. Cause damned if I
I've
haven't
sat here
had
and I have
so
begged for
many
2
people
years.
ask, "Oh, do you have aprons? Do you have smocks?"
For 2 years, I've asked her. I said we should be when we open. I said we should have art smocks, and she said no. And now, 2 years later, we're just now getting to that point because customers have complained. Then,
They haven't complained.
not
They
complained,
asked.
they're requesting, which is normal because kids. Think of it this way: if your kids are painting, we're drinking some wine, and it's expensive wine, and so we're not those type of folks.
It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, so yeah.
Sauvignon. Look at you. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Why does your lip do that?
Because that's what she tried to do. We're not fancy people. So
It's a Cab Sav.
our wines typically are
Or
like
Moscato.
$4 or $5.
Yes.
So when you get something like this, it's
This
like,
was probably at least a $20 wine.
which still for some people it's like, ew. But for us, it's like,
But it's also a Cab Sav. We typically drink Moscatos. So this is like a red of reds.
yeah. So anyhow,
That goes down so smooth.
it does. So we are. I'm on my second. Well,
I'm on my 2.5.
really? I'm just now on my second glass. Anyhow, we had a great day today because at the studio, Noelle had a party, and then there was a wedding that was going on. So these kids kept coming in and just thinking that stuff is free, and they just kept buying, or actually getting stuff. And she's like, "Wait, you need to ask your parents first before you do anything because it's getting up there." So they went and got their parents, and what was the first one? 100 and something.
$144.
So yeah, it was 144. So the kids are like, "How much is it?" And they're about like Zara's age, right? She said $144. They're like, so the parents did come. The other kid rung up like 60 some bucks because we have a lot of cool stuff in there, and so obviously kids are gonna love it, And but they were sending them in there unguided, and so that's just what happens. And so there's other little toys that they got too, because we have toys and stuff like that. I told her these are the things you want to get, because moments like this, kids are going to love little toys. And guess what? They came back and bought 6 little squishy toys. So, yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that. There's other stuff I want us to get to fill out the space. I told her, because, I worked in a store for a long time as a kid, 16 to... Well, I was 16. I worked in a grocery store. It sucked. But then later, I worked in a home goods store. And I was basically the miscellaneous...
Silk and Trends.
It was Trees and Trends. It was Silk Tree Factory, and then they changed it to Trees and Trends. And, yeah, no, she's not in proper dress. Proper dress, but not for YouTube. She's over here. She's had wine, so she's showing herself.
You're not posting this.
I am going to post it.
You're not posting this.
So anyway, I used to be the manager or the supervisor over the miscellaneous department, and we would have to order stuff, put stuff out there, put stuff in the right areas, market it. I had a boss that was really, really cool, but he was really much a stickler on product placement, where things would go, how you would do everything. And so I just learned early on, like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. And so that stuck with me. So now I, with this store, I do the exact same thing. I'm like, there's certain ways you got to do things. You got to...
This is the first time I've ever worked retail.
Yeah. So I'm like, and that's all I've done is like retail and customer service. So it's like, you have to make sure your shelves, like she was going to have a bigger shelf. And I'm like, have a smaller shelf that's more crowded, because if you have a shelf that shows a lot of gaps, then people are like, ugh, like that gets noticed. When there's a lot of stuff there, people pay attention. Also, you move stuff to the front. So if someone buys something, you move everything
You
to the
do
front.
FIFO, first in, first out.
So
That I do know.
therefore,
That's from the restaurant stuff.
people feel like, oh, cool. There's product here. They don't have to reach in the back, and so there's all these little things. And so end caps were my thing. Like that was my specialty at that store. Even though I had a whole aisle I had to take care of, end caps were the big things. And so basically, our pantry is an end cap, kind of. And so it's key that you have to have certain things there that really captures people's attention. And I told her, I said, right there where people come to pay is where you want to put these things. You don't want to put them back. She had them back up on a wall, and I'm like, but nobody's going to pay attention to that. You're not going to get any sales. And so I was right again when I told her to move them, and
Look
she
how
did.
red my face is.
Yeah. I was right again when I told her she has to move them so that people pay attention. They have no choice. And instinctively, they're going to be like, I want to buy something. So even though they don't really want to, they're like, I'm going to buy something. And so
next, we're getting merch.
Yeah, I've been saying this too, that we need to get merchandise, one for us to wear, so that we can advertise our store as we walk around. When she goes places, people can see the design. They're like, oh, cool, because so many people don't even know we exist. Last night she was at that event, and people said the same thing. They didn't know that we existed. And so you can tell she's like experiencing the wine. But it's important for us to actually get out there and put our business out there. And so just walking around, you're just a walking billboard. So when it comes to business and making money, that's something that I'm really, really, really good at. Like that's perfect for me.
I'm good at the customer experience.
Yeah, and creativity. So finally she is listening to me, and she told me that I'm right, which there's been a few things I've been right about, but I just write it out. Today I did a video talking about I'm a Sigma.
But I give you credit when credit is due.
Sometimes.
I do.
Now, she didn't give me credit.
I do.
She didn't give me credit when her sister was here. Made me mad. I'm like,
oh,
look,
Lord.
She didn't give me credit. I'm like, look, you need to check that. Now, I was telling people today, which your video, I don't know if this video is going to come up before then. My hand's getting tired. But I was saying that, I'm not a alpha male, and I'm not a beta male either. I said that I'm a Sigma. And I was talking about that basically Sigmas could be an alpha, but what they do is they convince, and I use the analogy of a caveman. So you have 3 cavemen, right? You have the one that goes out there hunting. You have the one that's a beta that basically is going to be over there, cooking, and with the cave women, right?
Ugga.
So he's going to be over there cooking and cleaning and stuff. And the Sigma guy is basically going to be the one that says, you know what? Hey, look, why don't you go out there and get this little baby buffalo, because it's going to be easier to get. You go out there and you get it, and you know what? He's going to probably help clean it with the ladies and cook it. And while you're gone, I'm just going to set up and just start the fire, make sure it keeps going so we can get this ready and go. So you're still a leader, right? But you're able to convince people to do stuff.
The persuasion.
Right. You're able to convince people to do stuff.
That's why I'm a Sigma, because I got that Asian persuasion.
Okay. Let's direct it over here.
No. Do you know that I used to have a drink named after me?
I know that.
At a bar in Indy called the Asian Persuasion.
I know.
Asian Persuasion.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It was great.
I think I've had it, and you told them, oh, that drink is because of me.
It was.
Okay, guys. Anyhow, so let's focus back on me. I can handle my liquor a little better. So anyway, Noelle's also a Sigma, and so I said that's probably why we work pretty well together.
I'm a Sigma.
Is because that's the personality that we are, is that we're good at...
The one thing, though, that I don't understand about Sigma women, Sigma females, is that they say that we're mysterious. Am I mysterious?
I can kind of see that.
I guess you were intrigued by me.
Mm-hmm.
People are captivated. I don't know how they're captivated by me, but I'm like a little flame to moths. And they flutter. Oh! Listen! No! Today!
There's nothing I can do. I can't delete it.
No! This is a truly...
I could pause it.
No, this is a true story today. In the studio, somebody had the door opened, and they were, oh, look, my hand's like a little shadow.
Oh, gosh. You're that far gone. It doesn't take much, guys. Red wine, a glass and a half, and this is what you get.
In the studio, a freaking dragonfly was in the studio. Like, I kid you not. Like, I know people are like, pictures or it didn't happen. But no, like, a freaking dragonfly was in the studio. And people were like, oh, a dragonfly is, like, they're like, oh, that's good luck. Well, it got trapped in the window. And so it was like buzzing around. And so, like, I had to move stuff because stuff was in the way because I kind of pack things in. And so I grabbed it by its wing. And I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing, but I'm not grabbing it by its little wormy body because that kind of like freaked me out. But I'm like, I can take it by its wing. So I got it by its wing, by its like back wing. And it was like, bzz, bzz. But then I got it. And I guess it trusted me enough. And I took it outside.
You didn't have a choice.
I took it outside and I let it go. And it went free. But they say that dragonflies, when a dragonfly comes to visit you, it's a sign of prosperity. So, and...
We were prosperous today.
We were prosperous today.
Those
Damn,
kids.
Little dragonfly. Okay.
We need to have some more.
But seriously, like, lures. What are the chances that a dragonfly gets inside and then gets trapped in my studio? What are the chances? That truly happened. It was a true story. How did I get on that story?
We don't know. But anyhow, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to record the fact that there are many times that I'm right. You guys know that I'm right about stuff, but this one, nope. And it's like 9 times out of 10, I'm right. Now, I'm not saying I'm always right on everything. There's certain things I don't know, and I just tell people I don't know, or I will say, like, I'm not sure, or I won't say anything. But if I know something, or I have a really good hunch, I'm like, yeah, this is what we should do. This one? Mm-mm. The only time she listened was when we bought this house. Like when I said we need to buy a house.
But he didn't want to buy this house.
I didn't want to buy this house. This is a lot of work. But anyhow,
any house
okay.
would have been a lot of work.
Anyway.
And he wanted to buy a house by JBLM, which was shared a driveway.
You sure join the Discord down description
no,
box below?
Listen.
No.
Shared a driveway with a fourplex. Like, I don't want that traffic in and out of my driveway with 3 young kids. I don't want that.
Okay.
Aren't you glad we didn't get that?
Sure. So be sure to join the Discord.
He won't admit when I'm right and he's wrong.
You were so perfectly right.
What do you mean?
You're just right.
Stop it.
So
you're
sure. I've been a Sigma. I'm like,
no,
sure
you're being
right.
a turd, is what you are.
Anyhow, here comes the kids. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
I will see you. Take care.